Hello and welcome to Firstpost Spotlight, where we bring you stories that matter to you from all across the world. From breaking news to the day's biggest controversies, we shed light on issues that shape our world. I'm Alison Lagrange, live from Durban, South Africa. Let's begin with the top headlines. Russia's President Vladimir Putin dials Prime Minister Narendra Modi to condemn the Pahalgam terrorist attack, says the perpetrators of the heinous attack and their supporters must be brought to justice. Iran says it's waiting for Oman to confirm the schedule for a new round of nuclear talks with the United States, days after the fourth round of negotiations were called off due to logistical reasons. Thousands of rail passengers in Spain hit with delays after theft of signaling system cable between Madrid and Sevilla. This comes just days after Spain was hit with a nationwide blackout. The Taiwan dollar experiences a significant surge, jumping 4.5% to a two-year high amidst the ongoing trade negotiations with the US. This comes as Taipei engages in tariff talks with Washington. And crowds gather in London on the first of the four-day-long Victory Day celebrations as the UK marks the 80th anniversary of the Allied victory over Nazi forces in the Second World War. Hello and welcome. We begin with the latest from the Indian subcontinent, where New Delhi's push to punish the perpetrators of the Pahalgam attack is exposing Pakistan's cross-border terror designs. In the latest, the Indian security forces busted an underground hideout used by terrorists in Jammu and Kashmir's Poonch area less than 2 weeks after the Pahalgam attack. The security forces uncovered 5 explosive devices, 2 wireless sets and several blankets during an anti-terror search operation. Officials said that all the ready-to-use explosives, weighing between 0.5 kilogram and 5 kilograms, were destroyed in a controlled explosion on the spot, thwarting terrorist plans to set off explosions in the border district. Hours after the terrorist hideout was busted, the Pakistan Army resumed its unprovoked firing across the line of control as Islamabad's forces violated the ceasefire for the 11th straight day, prompting retaliation from the Indian troops. Meanwhile, days after New Delhi suspended the Indus Waters Treaty with Islamabad, the Chenab River witnessed a significant drop in water levels near the India-Pakistan line of control. This as India shut the gates of a key dam controlling the flow of the river into Pakistan. Reports say the downstream flow of River Chenab to Pakistan has been reduced by up to 90%, impacting Pakistan in its crop-rich districts such as Gujranwala, Sargodha and Sialkot. Meanwhile, the Indian capital New Delhi, Prime Minister Narendra Modi met with Indian Air Force Chief Air Marshal A.P. Singh. The Indian Air Force Chief is reported to have briefed the Prime Minister on the overall preparedness of the IAF in the context of retaliatory options being weighed by New Delhi against the Pahalgam attack. Earlier today, the Indian Prime Minister also met with the Defence Secretary Rajesh Kumar Singh amid reports that New Delhi is fine-tuning its strategy to crack down against Pakistan after the Pahalgam attack. While Pakistan has repeatedly expressed readiness to go to war against India, its economic reality suggests otherwise. Earlier on Monday, global credit ratings firm Moody's report spelled out the consequences of Pakistan might face in the event of a war. Now, the report says that such an event could impair Pakistan's access to external financing and will pressure its foreign exchange reserves, which remain well below what is required to meet its external debt payment needs. 12 days have passed since Pakistan-backed terrorists killed 26 unarmed civilians in Jammu and Kashmir. India has made it clear that the perpetrators, backers and planners of this terror attack will be brought to justice. The reduced flow of rivers from India to Pakistan makes one thing clear. New Delhi is not just condemning terror, it's now choking the support system behind it. And shifting focus to the top updates coming in from West Asia, where the United States has launched around 10 strikes in and around Yemen's capital Sana'a, targeting the Houthis. The Iran-backed group said that 2 of the strikes hit the Arabian Street and the airport road in Sana'a. The Houthis said at least 14 people were wounded in the U.S. strikes in the Sawan neighborhood. The U.S. strikes follow a missile attack by the Iran-backed group, which hit the grounds of Israel's main Ben Gurion airport on Sunday. Vowing revenge, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that Israel has acted against the Iran-backed rebels and will continue to do so in the future. Netanyahu also said that Israel would respond to Iran at a time and place of Israel's choosing.
As far as the trade routes, obviously we're being challenged. The whole world is being challenged by the Houthis, including in the dastardly attack they did today near Ben Gurion Airport. We will not tolerate it. We will take very strong action against them. And we always remember that they act with their patron Iran's direction and support. We will do what we need to do to take care of our security, to respond effectively, and to give Iran a due warning that this cannot continue.
The attack, launched by the Houthis from Yemen, landed near the main terminal of Tel Aviv's Ben Gurion Airport. At least 6 people sustained injuries. The Israeli Defense Forces said even though they tried to intercept the missile, they failed in doing so. International airlines, including Lufthansa, British Airways and Air India, suspended flights to Israel following the attack. The Houthis had also warned of more such attacks and asked airlines to cancel their flights to Israeli airports. However, flight services resumed at the Ben Gurion after a brief halt.
The Yemeni armed forces announced that they will work to impose a comprehensive air blockade on the Israeli enemy by repeatedly targeting airports, most notably Lod Airport, known in Israel as Ben Gurion Airport.
Gaza-based Hamas praised the Houthi missile attack and called Yemen the twin of Palestine as it continues to fight against Israel. According to the Israel Defense Forces, Sunday's strike marks the 3rd consecutive day of missile launches from Yemen toward Israel. Meanwhile, Iran has also unveiled a new solid-fuel ballistic missile, named the Qassem Basr missile, with a range of 1,200 kilometers. This comes amid heightened tensions in West Asia. Iran's defense minister said if the country is attacked, then it will respond with force and will target U.S. bases. This comes at a time when Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu has been trying to gain support for a joint attack with the United States against Iran, despite the ongoing nuclear talks between Washington and Tehran. Now, the latest escalation pushes West Asia further to the edge. It is a wider regional war now imminent. And now let's turn our attention to the Philippines, where a significant display of military might unfolded over the weekend. Filipino and American troops successfully thwarted a simulated attack on an island in the Philippines. The exercises took place in the Apari in the Filipino province of Cagayan, which is a region strategically located facing Taiwan. Now, these drills are taking place against a backdrop of increasing regional tensions with China. Beijing has amplified its assertiveness in the South China Sea, claiming almost the entire waterway and not dismissing the possibility of using force against Taiwan. These counterlanding live fire exercises were a part of the ongoing Balikatan drills, which mark the largest ever joint military exercises between the two allies, the US and the Philippines. Powerful explosions echoed through the village of Dodan as the combined forces showcased their capabilities. The exercise, involving the Philippine Army and the US Marine Corps, involved a formidable array of weaponry, such as the Sabra battle tanks, light armored vehicles, and the Atmos self-propelled howitzers. Adding more firepower and support to the drills, the American forces deployed the AH-64 Apache attack helicopters, F-16 aircraft, and a P-8A Poseidon aircraft, crucial for maritime surveillance and reconnaissance. Now, the Balikatan spokesperson, General Lejiko, had said that the exercise simulated an amphibious assault by a threat force aiming to establish a foothold on the beaches and move inland. Now, the counter-landing operation was designed to halt this advance in deeper areas and to continue engagement as the simulated enemy moved closer. General Lejiko has emphasized that these drills were connected to a broader operation and strategic simulation taking place at the military's main headquarters. The exercises in Cagayan follow a similar drill recently conducted in Palawan, facing the West Philippine Sea, which involved Filipino, US, and Australian forces. The 3-week Balikatan exercises, involving approximately 17,000 troops, are scheduled to continue until the 9th of May. This year's iteration includes simulated mock invasions on enemy-occupied islands in areas facing both Taiwan and the South China Sea. These exercises are considered a rehearsal of a defense plan previously established by the Philippines and the US. When asked about China's potential reaction, General Lejiko had stated firmly that China is free to think whatever it wants, but the two nations are exercising their rehearsal for a ground defense, and nothing more has to be interpreted from the exercise. This display of Allied military cooperation underscores the commitment of the Philippines and the United States to regional security in the face of growing Chinese aggression in the region. And for our last story today, let's turn our attention to the growing camaraderie between Russia and North Korea, as the conflict in Ukraine continues to exert immense pressure on Russia. A deepening alliance with North Korea is providing a crucial lifeline for President Vladimir Putin. Beyond the battlefield, where Putin's friend Kim Jong-un has offered support by sending troops and arms, Pyongyang is now sending a significant wave of workers to address a critical challenge facing the Kremlin, which is a severe labor shortage. Russia's workforce has been significantly impacted by the country's sliding birth rate and by the ongoing war, which has further worsened the situation. Western estimates point to hundreds of thousands of battlefield deaths compounded by an exodus of citizens. Projections from Russia's own labor ministry paint a stark picture, suggesting a potential shortfall of 2.4 million workers by the year 2030, up from an already concerning 1.5 million today. And it's here that the North Korean workers enter the picture. Prized by Russian employers for their willingness to work for long hours for low wages, these workers are now pouring into the country. South Korea's intelligence agency reported last week that approximately 15,000 North Koreans have already been dispatched to Russia, with many believed to have entered on student visas. Moscow's own figures reveal a staggering 12-fold increase in North Korean arrivals in 2024 as compared to the year 2023. While currently concentrated in Russia's Far East, bordering North Korea, there are growing aspirations among Russian industry leaders and officials to see these workers deployed in major urban centers, including in Moscow. Now, this development, however, flies in the face of United Nations Security Council resolutions that explicitly bar the use of overseas North Korean migrant workers. Despite these international sanctions, Moscow and Pyongyang have increasingly disregarded such restrictions, along with the others imposed on Kim Jong-un's regime over North Korea's nuclear weapons program. The strengthening bond between the two nations is further evidenced by the increased cross-border trade and even symbolic gestures such as Putin's gift of a luxury limousine to Kim. Putin himself has publicly lauded their friendship as one forged on the battlefield. Prior to the 2019 UN ban, tens of thousands of North Koreans were working in Russia. And following the UN ban, thousands of North Koreans returned home, impacting Russia's migrant workforce. However, the deepening political alignment between Moscow and Pyongyang since Russia's invasion of Ukraine has clearly paved the way for this renewed influx of North Korean workers. The long-term implications of this burgeoning partnership between the two allies remains to be seen. And that's all we have on the show for today. We will see you again tomorrow at the same time. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned to Firstpost.
From breaking news to the day's biggest controversies, shedding light on the world's top headlines, detailed analysis on the stories that matter the most to you. Catch it all on Spotlight at 6 p.m. India time and 12:30 GMT, only on Firstpost.